our regularly scheduled Commissioners Court meeting. We do have a quorum present, and let's stand for a prayer and pledge, and we'll get started.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and every day that you give us. We are thankful for the rain. We ask that you please bring us more. Today we celebrate the heritage of the Polish Heritage Church, Heritage Center, as well as the church in Czestochowa. We ask that you be with everybody here today and remember us that we are here to serve you, and that we ask that you be with our country. We ask this in your name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and indivisible.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 up to speak this morning. 2. Wonderful. Who's first? Nathan Moy, Mr. Moy. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
County Road 2, the County Commissioner, James Rosales. 2012, I have been calling several different county commissioners, county judge twice. The road literally has water run down in the middle of it when it does rain. I'm not asking for it to be paid. Water is being paid. All I want a good crown. If we go down it every day, and we carry our equipment up, carry our vehicles up, and it's just nothing getting done. And I've called them, talked to them. They tell me that I'm on a list. I'd like to see the list. I'd like to know where we're at on that list. And I'd like to know who created that list and why was this county road pushed way off and never, not anything done. We have no culvert. Water literally runs across the road. James has ridden out there and looked at it. He probably agrees with me. But something needs to be done on this road. I don't know if the last I heard, they said, May we're gonna be there. Well, then it was wet in May. And after May, I figured, well, okay. So then I called them at the end of June. They said, well, the county's out of money. So I'm gonna have to wait till next year. And I just feel like I'm getting run around and not anything is being done on this road. That's the only reason I feel like I need to present myself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tommy.
Okay, Tommy.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Here, Commissioner's Court was mentioned by three of the ladies that basically are elected officials talking to y'all about different things. And one of the things that was brought up was walking forum type of situation, y'all's decision making. Later on that morning, I went over there at 11:45. I walked in that building and I found Webb and Shelton talking behind the door, and Benny in his office with Wayne. Now, I don't know if you want to consider that a walking forum, but as far as I'm concerned, it is. It's not a place of business other than county business. Just like you conduct up here. Even with the department head, you're in there. Now, you want to say you're behind the door talking? Maybe so, but that ain't right. If you're going to conduct county business, you do it here, you post it so everybody knows about it. It's been going on off and on. I've had people tell me, and what are y'all going to do when somebody comes up with a picture y'all sitting somewhere eating a taco? No, plenty of evidence about that. I suggest y'all straighten out and try right. Y'all lost me, Barry. Well, you ain't been here hardly at all since January. You ain't been here long.
Don't let these guys mislead you. They've been here, they know what's going on. I'll tell you something else that gets me. Other people come up here and talk. Y'all don't look, you don't look at them hardly. Benny, I watched you in the last meeting, I went back and looked at it. When those ladies were talking, you didn't hardly look at them at all. You're looking at me and I appreciate it. But I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all need to respect these people out here. I know y'all do a lot of positive things for the county. But y'all set an example. People look to you, and, that's how I see it. I'm gonna tell you something else. Y'all did that deal with the deputies, we got pushed into that, in my opinion, that's what happened. Y'all changed it, y'all on the salary committee, that was wrong what y'all did. Point blank, it was wrong. Should have followed what y'all decided on earlier. And now what? Me, I feel like it's not really called, funding of police. But if you're gonna have county, if you're gonna have the deputies making a certain amount of money as a base pay, and you consider all of them deputies, because that's exactly what they are. I'm not saying they don't deserve the money. But what about the doggone constables? Don't they rate the same pay as your base pay and what your deputies do? Don't think about what you're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 6, we're gonna move on to some acknowledgements. We've got plenty of them this morning. Item number 6 is to recognize October 2023 as Polish American Heritage Month. That is Mr. Wayne Teeman, Kinfolk, and Commissioner Lissy.
Thank you, Your Honor, members of Commissioners Court. Pleasure to be with you today. Polish American Heritage Month is an annual event celebrated in October by Polish American communities. It was first celebrated in 1981 after organization by Michael Liszas, president of the Polish American Cultural Center in Philadelphia. Originally, it was celebrated in August at various gatherings, travel events, and culturally significant locations in Pennsylvania. The Polish American Cultural Center and the Polish American Congress lobbied politicians at the state and national level to make August the month for Polish heritage. In 1984, the House Joint Resolution 577 passed, making August Polish American Heritage Month. President Ronald Reagan urged all Americans to join in the celebration honoring Polish heritage in the United States. The month was changed to October in 1986 to aid participating schools in organization during the school year, and October holds significance as the month when the first Polish settlers came to Jamestown, Virginia. Proclamations were made by Presidents Reagan, H.W. Bush, but beginning with Bill Clinton. U.S. presidents have since made proclamation for General Pulaski Memorial Day and official messages noting Polish American Heritage Month. In 2017, H.R. 1230 was submitted in the Texas legislature by State Representative James White, and it stated that the House of Representatives of the 85th Texas Legislature hereby recognize October 2017 as Polish American Heritage Month in Texas and honor the contribution of Poles and people of Polish descent to our state. Karnes County has the honor to have the first and oldest permanent Polish settlement in the United States in Santa Maria, and the state-of-the-art Polish Heritage Center in Santa Maria, a nonprofit foundation, was envisioned and brought to reality by Karnes County native-born Bishop John W. Yonta of Runge, Texas. We, the representatives of Polish Heritage Center at Santa Maria that are here with me today, I'm the chairman, Alois Knudsen. We have Alice Poor, who is our new executive director, resident of Falls City, another Karnes County resident. Lauren Robinson, who is our researcher and librarian. And of course, Wayne Teeman, who has chaired our Czestochowa 150th celebration. So we come before you today to humbly request that you acknowledge the month of October 2023 as Polish American Heritage Month. And furthermore, we invite everyone to visit our Polish Heritage Center at Panna Maria, Texas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you've not been to the Polish Heritage Center, it is incredible. I spoke there with Bishop Yonta before he passed at the grand opening, and I was blown away, just completely blown away. It is incredible. Um, So if you've not seen it, take time one day and go out there and see it.
Judge, I think they want to take a picture.
We can, absolutely. Let's take a picture. Y'all want to do picture up here? Yeah, and I can read this real quick. For our proclamation for Polish American Heritage Month, now therefore we, the Commissioners Court of Karnes County, Texas, do hereby recognize October 2023 as Polish American Heritage Month, and we urge all citizens to celebrate this month with appropriate observances. So, awesome, thank you. Y'all come back here and let's take a picture. Absolutely, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Apologies. It's the last, right? Thank you all very much. Thank you, appreciate it.
Everybody look over here. I'm gonna take a few. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7 is an acknowledgement to sign a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month for October 2023. Bobby Joe Robertson, Guadalupe Valley Family Violence Shelters. Bobby Joe, here she is. There she is.
It's not Bobby Joe.
Not Bobby Joe.
No. I'm Reagan. I'm our new community engagement specialist at Guadalupe Valley Family Violence Shelter. So I'll be reading the proclamation. Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to systematic usage of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse, including abuse to children and the elderly. And whereas the problems of domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but cut across all economic, racial, and societal barriers and are supported by societal indifferences. And whereas the impact of domestic violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole. Here in this community, Guadalupe Valley Family Violence Shelter answered 992 crisis calls, provided 6,398 services to survivors from September 2022 to July 2023. And whereas women are not the only targets, men, young children, and the elderly are also victims, and sadly, emotional scars are often permanent, and domestic violence costs United States companies at least $3.5 billion in lost work time, increased healthcare costs, higher turnover, and lower productivity. And whereas it is battered women themselves who have been in the forefront of efforts to bring peace and equality to the home.
Now, therefore, in official recognition, we, the undersigned, do hereby proclaim October 2023 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Karnes County, and we call all citizens, community agencies, religious organizations, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in our effort to prevent domestic violence, thereby strengthening the communities in which we live. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hand this 26th day of September 2023 to Karnes County's Commissioners Court. Get signatures, and you want to come back here and take a picture?
Yes.
And you. Good? Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, item number 8, acknowledge October 1 through 7, 2023 as National 4-H Week in Karnes County. Megan's not here, Eric and the crew are though. Oh, there's Megan.
All right, well, good morning. My name is Eric Taylor. With me is my coworker, Megan Dennison. We are the two county extension agents here for Karnes County. Today, we're here on behalf of Karnes County 4-H, which is a huge part of our job here in Karnes County. We ended last year with 138 members and volunteers. We are on course to surpass that this year. So our program is growing and thriving, and I think a lot of it has to do with these kids here behind me. So today with me, we have some of our county council officers. They're going to talk a little bit about the 4-H program, some of the things they do and enjoy, and then Braden, our president, will give our proclamation.
Good morning. My name is Addison Rouse, and I'm the Karnes County 4-H Vice President. I'm a Texas Youth Livestock Ambassador, and I had the opportunity to go to West Texas A&M to attend my short course. There, I was taught how to better educate and advocate for the agriculture industry. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bradley Ernst. I'm the Karnes County 4-H Secretary. This year, we attended the Prestige Leadership Conference at Sam Houston State University, where we explored the university and learned more about their agriculture department. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Briley Krause. I'm the Karnes County 4-H County Ambassador. I've been showing for the past 7 years, and it has taught me how to do hard work, leadership, and responsibilities. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Red Hodges. I'm a county ambassador, also president of the Shotgun Club. Being a part of the Shotgun Club gives children opportunities that they don't always get to have.
Hi, I'm Bailey Fudge, and I am a 4-H Karnes County Council Ambassador. And this year we went to Leadership Lab at Camp Cubana. We did a lot of team building. We had a couple dances. We did leadership lessons, sessions, and overall had great experiences.
I am Braden Dillingham. I'm the Karnes County 4-H president, and I'm going to proclaim National 4-H Week. Whereas the Karnes County Commissioners Court is proud to honor the Texas 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service for 116 years of providing experience-based education to the youth throughout the Lone Star State. And whereas this admirable program, which seeks to provide a learning experience for all youth through their head, heart, hands, and health, helps young Texans to acquire knowledge, develop life skills, and form attitudes to enable them to become self-directed, productive, and contributing members of our society. And whereas this program's more than 550,000 urban, suburban, and rural youth participants, ranging in age from 8 to 18, come from diverse ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds and truly represent a cross-section of the state. And whereas the program undoubtedly could not have achieved the success that it has today were it not for the service of its more than 30,000 volunteers who have given generously of their time, talents, energies, and resources to the youth of Texas. And whereas throughout its proud history, the 4-H program has developed positive role models for countless Texans through its innovative and inspiring programs and continues to build character and install the values that have made our state strong. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Karnes County Commissioners Court hereby designate October 1 through 7, 2023 as National 4-H Week in Texas, and commend the 4-H Youth Development Program at the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service and the many men and women who have made the program a success.
Thank you very much. We'll sign this. Y'all want to come up, take a picture? Our 4-H program is incredible. It's grown so much since I was a young man in it. Eric and Megan, y'all do an outstanding job. You hold one too. Hold two of them.
You don't want to balance it out somehow?
Some can go in the front.
Everybody.
Okay, look over here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take a few. All right.
Thank you. Thanks y'all very much.
Thank you.
Kind of fitting, we had the Catholic proclamation. It almost feels like we might be in like a mass, up, down, working out good. Lots of signatures. Okay, our next one, item number 9, is to acknowledge and present the proclamation of Suicide Awareness Month of September. Declare September in Karnes County as Suicide Awareness Month. Doris and Thomas, here. There they are. Good morning.
We're going to make you get up again.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Good morning. Thank you for your time, attention, and presence today. I wanted to do a short introduction right before we read the proclamation. While we're acknowledging September as the month for suicide prevention, I want to stress that suicide is something that is pervasive across all cultures, across every single month. So as we gather here today and we're talking about the efforts that Doris's team, the Mobile Crisis Outreach Team, not only in Karnes County, but the counties that she also assists in Wilson and Atascosa, really do make a difference. Their t-shirts, I was looking at them this morning, tell a story where we want to have individuals stay. Tomorrow needs you. And while we're in our darkest times and people may not be able to see that, there is hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And while I take the easy route and I run my outpatient clinic, Doris and her team bust down and get knuckles into the dirt with people who are living the most perilous times in their lives. I appreciate all the hard work that Doris and her team do. Doris, will you read our proclamation?
Yes, I will. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Commissioner and Judge Hedke. Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, whereas September marks Suicide Prevention Month, a time to remember the lives lost to suicide, the millions who have struggled with suicidal thoughts, and individuals, families, and communities that have been impacted. And whereas during the month of September, approximately 1.3 million people in the U.S. will have suicidal thoughts, 142,000 will attempt suicide, and 4,000 will die by suicide. Whereas Texas has a population of 29 million people, it is both the second largest state population and the second highest number of suicide deaths in the United States. Whereas Texas suicide attempt rate for high school students is higher than the national rate. Whereas the past year has presented our communities with challenges and led to transitions that expected or unexpected, welcomed or not, can be unsettling, disorienting, and stressful. And whereas this is a time in which individuals, organizations, and communities around the country join their voices to amplify the message that suicide can be prevented. Whereas knowing the signs of suicide, finding the words to communicate with someone they are concerned about, and reaching out to local resources. And whereas we know that connecting, working with, and supporting one another can help prepare us for the future. And whereas all Texans are urged to play a role in suicide prevention and promote mental health and wellness as we strive towards zero suicides. And whereas the month of September is recognized across the United States as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and provides the opportunity to educate our community about the warning signs for suicide and how to reach out and connect to those experiencing an emotional crisis.
Now therefore be it proclaimed by Karnes County Commissioners Court and all members of Karnes County on this 26th day of September 2023 that the month of September shall be declared Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Very good. Thank you, Doris. Y'all come back here and we'll get a
Okay,
pic.
thank you.
And Doris, tell them what the number is to call now for
We have some 988.
988. That's not 911, it's
It's
988.
988 for the, yes, it's our crisis hotline, it's suicide hotline, and we have some handouts for that.
Be right there. Just tell me where you want me to stand.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take a couple.
Thank you so much. I think that's the last.
Okay, item number 10, discuss Camino Real Community Services MCOT Mobile Crisis Outreach Team. Doris and Thomas, you want to talk about that? Do we? Yeah.
No standing up this time.
Yeah, let's stand.
Perfect. So I guess I put the cart before the horse in a little bit of the introduction. So I gave a very generalized overview of Doris and her team. Team, come this way. I work with them hand in hand on the outpatient side, and they make my job so much easier. I work with individuals who are not seen in crisis. These are individuals who have been either through their own volition coming into our services on their own. Doris, as I said, works in the
What I'm trying
mud.
to say is that it doesn't stop right there. There's always that continuity of care that's so important, you know? It's not just like you see them in crisis and then they go left like by themselves. No. You know, everybody works together. If somebody is sent to a hospital for, let's just say, patient for psychiatric treatment, right? Well, we have people on there as a liaison to do the discharge planning to bring us back, right? And maybe they don't have where to go, right? So we have a crisis service center in Lytle where they can go discharge there and be more stabilized, right? Because they're not ready to come back home or they have nowhere to go, so we stabilize them. Maybe they need drug treatment, right? Because we also have drug treatment programs so we can help them for their substance use disorders as well. So maybe they need to go to rehab. So it's just so important to have that continuity of care, not just see them in crisis and like, okay, they're, you know, that's it, you know, because sometimes we don't want to wait for a crisis to happen, right? We want to do preventative care, and sometimes we can't do that. But knowing the resources that we have in the community is so important as well, right? Because you could come into a crisis, anybody next to you, your work coworker or somebody, just knowing what's going on. And one of the things Camino Real does is we provide a lot of training for knowing those signs and symptoms for somebody who's in a crisis or somebody who's having just a really bad day, you know, just noticing it is so important because sometimes you can see somebody in the grocery store and they're and just, you can't just walk away from them, right? I mean, it's all about how much you want to help that person. So, I mean, I can go on, you know, but that's what we do, you know, and I don't do it myself. I have a team, you know, we up late at night, 3 or 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, taking those calls. When people are sleeping, right, but we're up there, we're at the hospital, we're at the ER, we're at the jails, we're screening people. You know, we're doing all this, you know, not many people want to do this at all, this kind of work. And I'm just saying truth, it's true. We're very low staff right now, you know, but we're in a better place than what we were before, being able to provide more services, you know, with the grants that we get. So it's very fortunate, especially with the substance use, right? Because it's so vital right now, the substance use and co-occurring disorders. So that's so important that we're helping the people in our community. And we have Karnes County as well, that we have a substance use program right now. And we have a lot of people that are being referred to us from probation, from court referrals, and from parole that are in our program to keep them from doing, you know, more drugs or whatever. But can't help everybody, but at least we have numbers that we're working on.
Right. If there's one last thing I can have everybody take away, please write it in your hearts. If you or a loved one is experiencing thoughts of suicide, you don't have to be alone. 988 is there, and you don't have to have the best words. You just got to speak up and ask. You have a team here in Karnes County who can support you and will support you. Thank you.
Thank you. Lord, thank you for all y'all do. Eleven is to acknowledge effective September 1, 2023, House Bill 3474, authored by Leach and Zaffarini, amends Government Code Section 61.001A and 61.0015A, increases the first day of jury service from $6 to $20 with a new reimbursement rate from the state of $14. The increase of attendance rate after the first day from $40 to $58 with the daily reimbursement rate increase from $34 to $52. I had a jury trial last week and pulled 150 jurors and had maybe 40 show up. So I'm aware of it. District judges are aware of it, and we're gonna start paying a little closer attention to those who do not show up for jury duty. Item number 12, acknowledge holiday pay update. Currently, Karnes County waits 90 days before an employee is eligible for holiday pay. It is being revised to reflect the elimination of the 90-day waiting period. Employees upon hire will have holidays paid without a waiting period. Bonnie brought this to me. She checked with TAC. Karnes County is about the only county in the state of Texas that has a 90-day limit, waiting period for holiday pay. The folks that hire on, they're not going to be working. The county's going to be closed that day anyways. I think that this is a good thing for the county. Bonnie?
Yes, sir. I'll just echo, good morning again, Judge and Commissioners. I'll echo exactly what Judge just read. I did reach out to some counterparts at different counties as well, but mainly our TAC HR consultant, and I was like, trick question, what is the waiting period for waiting to pay employees once they get hired if there's holidays? She's like, none. Why? And I was thinking she was gonna say 30, but long story short, she said, oh, wow, you all are probably the only county that I'm aware of. You might wanna check with others, and I did, and they're all immediately, because like Judge said, it's not their fault. They're not asking for off. You know, I mean, the county is closed for business, you know, so they can't report to work. So that is the acknowledgement that we have in front of y'all, is just immediately, so that they don't get docked for holiday pay.
We can put it on at the end of the month for approval from the court. I think that's something we can talk about in our salary committee meeting later this week. Item number 13, discuss, approve, disapprove recommendation to extend the contract listed below through fiscal year 23-24. That is fiscal year 22-23 water hauling contract extension with Tierra Lease Services. Fiscal year 2022-23 bulk road materials contract extension with Vulcan Materials. Fiscal year 2022-2023 drainage materials procurement contract with Mayfield Pipe and Lumber. Fiscal year 2022-2023 bulk paving oil procurement contract with Ergon Asphalt and Emulsion Incorporated. Fiscal year 2022-2023 bulk paving materials procurement contracts with Colorado Materials LTD and Vulcan Construction Materials LLC. Fiscal year 2022-2023 bulk road materials procurement contract with Colorado Materials LTD. Fiscal year 2022-23 roadway and drainage construction service support contract with BRM Trucking and Construction LLC. Fiscal year 2022-2023 drainage construction support service contract with SD Reyes Trucking. Fiscal year 2022-2023 turnkey construction service support contract with CK Newberry LLC. Fiscal year 2022-2023 turnkey construction service support contract with ABN Construction LLC. Commissioners, y'all have opportunities to look over all these contracts with Mr. Giesler.
These are all renewals.
These are the ones we talked about briefly at the last court meeting. So prices should be there in your packet, and it's just need to go ahead and approve these so we can get on with the work on October 1.
I'll make the motion to approve item number 13 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Any opposed? I'm kind of opposed to that. I'm not quite sure how that's working out, but
Thank you.
motion carries 4-1. Item number 14, discuss, approve, disapprove interlocal agreement between Karnes County and Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 renewal. Commissioner Lissy.
That's an annual renewal that comes up between Justice of the Peace and Precinct 2 and the City of Falls.
Do you have a copy? Okay.
What is the interlocal agreement between Karnes County and the Justice of the Peace Precinct 2?
She handles a municipal court. She handles a municipal court for Falls City, City of Falls City.
Does she, Judge, may I speak?
Yes, please.
Does she, when she operates, does she operate in a different building other than the one that she's in now for municipal court? Because I understand they cannot do that in our county buildings. And I saw that yesterday, as a matter of fact, on the listserv. Has this agreement been looked at by the attorneys?
Yes. It was looked at by assistant county attorney. She okayed it. And it was it's a renewal that's renewed every year.
Okay, and difference, I guess that is her other address, 401 South Panamaria.
Commissioner, so our assistant county attorney blessed this?
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did. Any other discussion?
Of any more?
I move that we approve interlocal agreement between Karnes County and Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 renewal.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Let Judge Guzek go to work. Item number 15, discuss, approve, disapprove Karnes County financial policies and procedures effective 10/1/2023. Tom Dupnick.
All right, Court. I sent this to each of y'all about 2 weeks ago. So basically, this financial policies and procedures, I was able to get that from another neighboring county. They adopted it back in July. And what it does, it serves twofold. It kind of spells out how we do our business on a day-to-day basis. And also, it benefits us on our grant. So the more policies and procedures we have in place when they score our grants, you're more than likely to possibly get awarded for that grant. So that's the main purpose of this. I already presented to the outside auditors, and they're good with it as well because the neighboring county is one of their clients as well. I also did send it up to legal. I have not heard back from legal, but it's the exact same policies that the neighboring county has. There's a few changes in it with, Karnes County and so
What
forth.
are the changes, Tom?
The changing to Karnes County, the name from the original document received. The other change, Judge, is under budget. They had it where the county auditor did the budget. Here, our judge does the budget with the, meeting with all department heads. So I changed that in there. The other change was as far as outside auditors going out every 3 years. I suggested going out every 5 years for outside audit service. That gives the auditors a better opportunity to understand who we are and so forth. And on the first couple of pages, Judge, it actually spells out a summary of the whole procedures and so forth. So it talks about revenues, expenditures, fund balance, capital expenditures, debt management, interlocal governmental relations, grants, fiscal monitoring, accounting, and cash handling, internal controls, risk management, e-commerce, and the budget development process like I was just talking about.
Budget development process.
Yes, Judge.
Budget development process.
And
Talk to me about budget development process.
And that's on page 16, Judge. So and all the departments meet with you.
Correct.
Right, and then in turn, you turn the information over to me to help develop the budget together. And the way they had it in their county, it was all done by the auditor.
Yeah.
So that, no. So
It's
that's
my
why,
statutory duty, and I will continue to do
yes, that is correct. That's why I made that change.
Again, I looked at this thing and, I'm sorry, Judge, can I speak?
Yes.
I looked at this document, I read it the other night, and I had a question for Tom, and maybe y'all don't, doesn't matter, but all these policies that are in place are great, but what accountability, how do you hold somebody, hold them
When you do
accountable?
your internal audits, or when the exterior audit, or when the outside auditors do their audits, they would just put in their findings as far as if policies aren't being followed. It's just guidelines. I mean, is another way of looking at what the policies are. And if y'all need more time to go over it some more, that's fine. But
I'd like a little more time to go over it and talk
Okay.
to some of my other county judges and see
sure.
what they've got.
And do we currently have this in some form right now?
Or do we want?
Do we currently have this in some
No,
form?
sir.
This is
That I'm
brand
aware
new?
of. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so this is brand new.
It's brand new, kind of like a purchasing policy that we did like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I want to do a little more research on this.
And you said that there were some changes that you made to it, and it was the under the budget, and then from 3 to 5 years on the outside
Yeah,
order?
in Karnes County and, yeah, from, basically redeveloped to adhere to Karnes County. Like one of the things we encourage our vendors to go ACH if possible, so that's added in there as well.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 16, discuss, approve, disapprove fiscal year 2023 budget amendments.
Okay, Judge. This is what we do every year at the end of the fiscal year to kind of move monies around because there's unforeseen expenses and so forth that happen. So I sent each of y'all the worksheet that I did for the general fund, and then we have our other funds. So basically, a lot of it is just, 2-cent adjustments here, 3-cent adjustments there, moving things around within the same department. The only thing that we had outside the norm, elections had some extra expenses of $4,000 that we're having to put into their budget. EMS had additional expenses of about $129,750, which is payroll, some other things that he had to purchase for the year. County maintenance, our utilities were like 24, we had to add 24,000 because utilities are just outrageous. It's hard to really budget not knowing with the heat and so on and so forth. And then the other small amounts were for the four constables that we had to pay for getting their decals and so forth on the new vehicles that are coming into the year. So basically on the general fund, we reduced monies out of the special counsel section, which is in 465, I believe, is judicial. So there were monies to be moved there to cover, take that back, it's not in, it's not special, it's not in 409, it's actually in non-departmental special counsel. So what funded the money that we didn't use under special counsel fees funded these different departments overall. So the overall change is just for the general fund, and it's not affecting the bottom line general fund budget, is 173,468.31. Like I said, the majority of that is EMS, and we had that as well last year. That's on the general fund. On the specialty funds, which is special revenue funds, like our district county court fees that we collect and so forth, those are basically just moving, paying for expenditures this year out of their fund balances, monies that we've accumulated over previous years. Like for instance, this is on the next line item. This is called budget adjustment number 32. So most of these balances are that we're moving around to their budgets are like election day workers. We have election equipment we purchased, but all those funds are coming from their previous year's fund balance. The money's already been in the books. It's just a matter of them using the money. And this is the way I check with auditors, the way we're supposed to present it as well. So that's on the budget adjustment number 32. Number 33 is road and
Go back
bridge.
to 32 on description, you have miscellaneous expense, 180-636-4990, 120,000.
Yes, Judge, that's the voting equipment. That was money we've gotten in during this year, so we didn't certify that money when it came in. So that money's sitting in our funds, so we're not really adding to the budget. We're just recognizing we had that revenue that came in from that grant.
Is that from that HAVA grant?
Yes, sir, that is correct. And that takes care of the whole grant as well. We're done with that as well.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear.
Yes, sir. And then on the road and bridge, he just basically moved monies around to cover parts and so forth and so out of his current budget. So he's moving 7,047.65 out of fuel. He's moving 1,000 out of supplies and fuel and safety supplies, and then out of heavy equipment repairs, he's moving 8,000 to cover these additional expenses. And I sent an email out to all the departments to go through their budgets before we finish up this year, if there's any changes that need to be done. And then on his special fund,
What were the additional, you said the additional that you needed, the 16,000 for, Wayne?
These budget changes for this year.
You said 16,000, Judge, what are you talking about specifically? I don't see 16 on our list.
It's on that budget amendment, Fund 200, Road and Bridge.
Yeah, these amounts down here, he's asking about why are we increasing those?
Why are we increasing these? We're just moving them around. It has no bottom line impact to the budget. We basically have to estimate parts, utilities, conference expenses, boot allowances, and that sort of thing. So all this is just moving the money around. That's what it is. It's where we put it. Those are all estimates.
So you're not increasing it, you're just moving it?
That's correct. That's correct. Okay, yes. Work within our budget.
And then the next one, the final one is the library. That's basically just moving monies around she needed to purchase some more books and supplies, and that's coming out of her existing budget. We're just pushing it from one line item to another line item. Like I said, I've reached out to all the department heads and told them if there was no response back, I'm going to assume their budget's good as presented. So we didn't make any other changes, and I asked them to consider any Citibank charges for this month, because those don't hit until we actually pay the bill. Like I said, this is something we do every year, court, clean up the budget. I like the budget to be cleaned up at the end of the year, because I unforesee things that might have happened throughout the year.
I make the motion to approve item number 16 as presented, the
second
budget
it.
amendments.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Item number 17, acknowledge retiree insurance effective October 1, 2023. Karnes County will pay 100% of a retiree's health insurance premium until the age of 65 for past/current retirees as long as the retiree has maintained coverage with Karnes County without a lapse in coverage. The county will cover their health insurance premium until they are 65. Bonnie?
Okay, good morning again. So you guys already actually passed this. From an HR perspective, we're getting questions, so we would just like language to be able to provide and be transparent, just open communication to where I can literally say, well, this is word for word what was approved. So I put together what my understanding is, and this is the language, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is what you all have passed. And this again will be an acknowledgement for retirees. So effective October 1st, 2023, Karnes County will pay, well, Judge already read it. So again, this is just defining specifics and having transparent language to be able to provide all the specifics and details to past retirees and any future retirees.
Does the rule of 80 apply to Karnes County? Say Wayne Giesler worked for Harris County for 25 years and he works 10 years for Karnes County and says, I've had enough, and he's 59 years old and he says, I want to retire.
I don't have a 100% answer to that. I'm not sure. Is it? Okay.
Is it other counties? What about Shelby with
What
the
about
state?
schools?
What about school district? Right.
Well, why don't you come up here and so everybody can hear? I don't think they can hear over there.
And I will say I've recently talked to TCDRS city employment, and like Vice said, retirement, military, but also state. Like I worked for the state for almost 6 years. That combines with ours. There's also school districts, ISD. So there's a handful that TCDRS will combine and roll into ours. So if you've had.
Yes. That's very important to know, because it's not just if you worked for Karnes County, then it could potentially be, instead of us having, one or two that the county's paying until they hit 65, you could potentially have 4 or 5. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just want it to be clear to everybody that it's not just you work for the county. It's all these other factors, if Harris County or KCISD or the state, state with you too, state with Chief back there. Those things can add up, and that it just needs to be clear to employees and to the public that those are things that could affect that.
You just need to contact TCDRS and let them know your prior years of service, and they'll get your records transferred over.
Well, do we have anything that would, and maybe I'm not understanding it completely, but that would prevent someone from working at the state or somewhere else and having their 30 years, say they work 30 years, that puts them at 50, they started at 20, and let's say they work for Wilson County, and Wilson County doesn't have this. And they were like, you know what? I'm ready to retire. And they jump over to, at 50, come bring their skill set here that we would probably jump all over because of their knowledge. And then work for a year, and then they're like, I'm retiring, I'm done. Do we have anything to prevent that? Is that something they can do?
So you're wanting like a minimum amount of years county before they're.
I think that's what Commissioner.
I mean, you would need to establish that. And that's basically, I'm not here to ask or tell you what to do. I just need you all tell me language so I have adequate responses to give. With,
So I guess, and that's kind of what I was asking. We don't have anything right now.
I mean, this is literally all that I think you all have discussed. So you all would need to set parameters if you wanted to limit it or do something to say you have to, you know, if you just wanted to put some specifications on then.
Wayne, did you have a comment?
Yes, the way that I'm reading this, and I'm going to preface this by saying that I've been advised by my wife and several of my coworkers not to state this, but I'm going to state it because I too live here and pay taxes. First, I may be incorrect on this. I don't recall this ever coming up for a vote up here. And this is a very significant, this has a very significant financial impact on the county. So I don't recall it, and if I did, then I would urge the court, and trust me, whenever you and I've talked, Judge, this is a wonderful benefit for employers. You want to talk about, for employees, you want to talk about something that will attract and help us department heads fill our vacancies. This will do it. This is significant. That said, without some controls, this is going to impact our bottom line financial budget. So I really, I really would urge us, I hope we can find a way to make something like this work because it would help attract people, quality people to this county so well. That's a huge benefit if you do the math. But
I agree with
But
what
I
Commissioner
just
Geisler
really
said.
think that we should look at it carefully because it can also come back to bite you, and it'll bite you 10 years. Whenever I was working for Harris County, I saw the city of Houston do some stuff like this, and it almost bankrupted the city. It was all over the news. So
I agree.
I just want to put that in there and urge you. I'm sorry to be Debbie Downer
No,
here, but no, I'm sorry to be it for my people too. I hope we can find something to make this work.
There needs to be some
we gotta put some controls
parameters
on it.
established with it going forward that you must meet this criteria, you know, like what Vi was example was, you know, or Commissioner Geisler's, if, you know, they see that as, I worked for Wilson County for X amount of years and they don't offer this. And I know that I can jump, I see myself wanting to retire in a couple of years and I can jump over to Karnes County and fill a CDL driver position, a maintenance tech 3 or 1, whatever, jail cook. I mean, they could come fill that for a year and say, now I got my insurance paid for until I'm 65.
And in addition to establishing controls, I would recommend to the court that we evaluate the long-term financial impact. And so that way we can monitor it. Because if we are intending this for, let's say, 5 people, we know about 5 people today, but we mess up on those rules and you suddenly have 4 times that.
I agree.
You will hurt your bottom, because you're talking about a multi-year, possibly 10 to 15, if I hired somebody at 18.
Right.
And they hit their rule of 80, you could be paying for their insurance for 15 years.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's a huge chunk of change. It's not necessarily bad as long as you can afford it.
Right.
It's a great way to attract quality people.
I think that we should, on our little salary committee meeting that we have at the end of this week. I think
it's
every
Friday.
I think that we need to hammer out some details on that and then bring it back to the court. Yeah, it's a start.
So what are y'all gonna do about and again, I'm not here tell you guys what you do, not even provide recommendation, to tell you the truth.
Right.
I just need language so I can properly answer questions.
That's what, we'll hammer that out.
So this, do we need to do anything about the language or what was already approved of effective October 1st? Or it's just going to kind of stand still type deal?
I think stand still till Friday.
Okay.
We do need to have some stopgaps there, to prevent.
And then we'll bring it at
Abuse.
the next commissioner's court?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I'm here. It's me again.
Thanks, Bonnie. All right, item number 18, acknowledge the definition and details pertaining to longevity pay. Bonnie.
Again, okay, last time you'll see me. Okay, so again, this is just another acknowledgement to establish transparent language on what you all approved on for longevity pay. So this is what I've put together based on my understanding. Budget-dependent, Karnes County will annually award longevity pay to Karnes County employees for each year of their loyal service to Karnes County. Service time must be consecutive, that's the key word, consecutive employment with Karnes County. There must not be a lapse in service within the county. It must be continuous service to Karnes County. Karnes County Commissioners Court approved $240 per year of service to Karnes County be extended to full-time employees. Part-time employees will receive $120 per year of service to Karnes County. An employee must be employed for 1 full year with Karnes County before receiving longevity pay. A lump sum will be paid to eligible employees in a standalone payment the first pay period in November. And as always, this is subject to change based on the annual budget. Is that how you all understood that you all approved longevity pay as well?
Do you remember, Carol?
I thought it was a year away.
Your
But I was a year away. I wasn't gonna get it.
Your wait
I thought so. Is that right?
after the first year. Yeah, so that's good then.
Okay. So are we good with?
You're talking about the first pay period in November? No,
I remember Black Friday.
Black
That's what I
Friday, I
remember.
think is what we talked
Judge.
about. I'm fine either way.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Is there a cap on this?
I don't think you all set a cap.
We didn't cap it.
Why not? I mean, I don't know what the committee, I don't know what the salary committee decided, but to me, it needs to have a cap. I mean,
If you've been here 25 years and given that much time, you're rewarding the one-year employee. Why would you not reward the 30-year?
really, quite frankly, because to me, when you get 20 years, I think it needs to be cut off, and then you start getting like an adjustment, it can adjust somehow. But to me, too, I think that I think longevity should start after 5 years myself. Do what, Judge?
I don't think 5 years.
Well, yeah, I think you got to be here a little bit of time before you should be able to receive it. And I don't think elected officials should be part of it. That's my feeling.
We'll bring that before the court. We'll talk about, details on that. Right, and so the salary committee is Commissioner Geisler's on it, Ms. Sweezy, By's on there, myself, Wayne, Chief, Bonnie, and Tom. I think that's it. So, okay, good discussion, yeah. Okay, item number 19, discuss and take action on employee COLA adjustment. Commissioner Lissy. They can't hear you.
Turn your mic on.
Discussion about employees going from part-time to full-time. Could you elaborate on that?
So on this, also, there needs to be some transparent language on, I know y'all approved a 3% cost of living adjustment, COLA, for all employees. There are questions, and I think you will discuss on the parameters of it, and that's the language that I need to know to be able to provide to employees that are asking questions. There is a situation where there are, I believe, 2 employees that are currently part-time. They are going full-time. So as a court, you all need to decide, they were already employed here, and for at least a few months, year plus, right, for those 2 employees. So you all need to decide if they are getting that 3% COLA, or if they're not. So that's what the court needs to decide.
Mr. Ramirez, would they have, as part-time employees, would they have gotten the COLA?
Yes, they would have, as a part-time employee. Yes, they would have received that 3%. Right.
Part-time employees get full benefits.
Time? No, sir. And then while y'all are thinking about, the other was on a date this was effective. Like what is, so let's say, if, are you all gonna decide to, anybody employed as of August 31st and prior receives that 3% COLA? Or anybody before September 1st, September 30th? And the only thing I would suggest to you guys to consider is, if you were to say September 30th, basically somebody could start Friday and get that 3%. So they'd be here a day and get that 3% raise. But those are the 2 things in question
So
that I need language on.
Excuse me, there's no eligibility as far as when you start being available for COLA?
That was not established on what was approved, that was left. Yes, so that's what we're trying to establish now. When do y'all want it effective? Anybody, August 31st, September 31st, July 1st? October 1? That is your.
That's what you need to step.
When you come to work for Karnes County, you're coming to work at the established, what the established, that salary is, at the $40,000.
Going from part-time to full-time and getting the benefits, it's kind of like a raise too, isn't it?
I guess that's subject to interpretation because it's just the change in status of part-time to full-time. I mean, me personally, I don't consider that a raise. That's just my personal stance.
The hours.
And what is considered part-time?
Say that again?
In those positions, like per week, hours per week, is it,
20 hours.
it's 20 hours? Okay.
30 plus. 30 plus, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good question, thank you.
And again, I just want to, from an HR perspective, be able to give, I know it's, no language is going to be perfect, right? I mean, and there's always going to be subject to interpretation. There's going to be some gray areas, but I just hope we can get some language that will try to minimize gray areas, that will be as transparent as possible, and maybe try to incorporate possible hypothetical situations like, okay, what about, this scenario? Let's try to be proactive with it and have that language, set.
So these are, I guess, hourly jobs? I mean,
These two positions that are part-time,
that we're discussing? And can I ask, like, what's the amount?
that they paid, well, 20,000. Is the other one 20,000 also? Well, that's true. And that's 19. Is it 1920? I thought it was 1920, right?
Say that again.
It's 23 or 24 per hour.
1920 per hour?
Is the base pay.
And then 3% of that is? 1923? Okay. Thank you.
I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I just want language to be able to provide to our employees, with some of the scenarios that have been, and questions and concerns that have been brought to, our department's attention.
These two positions are moving from part-time to full-time, but in the
October 1st?
same jobs, the same everything?
Yes,
They're
yes,
not
that's
changing
correct.
jobs or
No,
anything?
sir, that's right. Same role. Same role, same department, just part-time to full-time.
But in the budget that got passed, I think the issue is in the budget that was already passed,
Doesn't have it in there.
it did not get anything, and the other one got $3 and something more an hour. Going to full-time.
One position. So there was three positions,
Just two.
but there was three to begin with, and one of them got,
No, just two positions.
okay.
But I think what Carol is just saying, one position did not, in the budget that was adopted, the 3% was not factored into one of those part-time going to full-time. But the second one, it was factored in at an additional, but, so it was more than what a 3% COLA would have been basically.
You're talking about just one position that's low,
That's correct.
that didn't get the 3%. But let me try to get this straight, I'm sorry. But one exactly like this got moved up, got full-time and got the 3%?
It actually, I don't think the 3%, and you all can correct me if I'm correct or if I'm wrong, but it wasn't a 3% increase that was factored in. I think it was just maybe, do you know, Judge, the salary? I think the salary, the role maybe.
Okay, so this was a part-time position where there was other full-time positions, and because it made it full-time along with the other same exact position.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's kind of what I'm asking. If there was two people and then there was an additional half for the part-time, and they raised that up, then they'd have to have them at their starting pay rate.
No, it didn't get raised intentionally, it got raised just because they got a full-time position now. Reason, why did it go up? And I'm sorry I missed that, I am
No,
very sorry, we're the one that passed it, and I'm asking this question, I'm sorry, I do miss things sometimes.
No, that's okay. And that's what, like I said, that's one of the concerns that was brought up. And that's why Commissioner Lissy had it on the agenda for discussion and approval of what you all were going to do with that scenario.
I'm just concerned on there was two positions and one went to 2303 and the other one did not. What reasoning would we have done that?
That I do not have an answer or history on.
As y'all know, I'm
I
gonna admit,
don't,
I don't know.
I don't know
Did
either.
the salary committee catch it? Did the salary committee catch that as well? Or you snuck by them as well?
I honestly believe that it's a typographical error that I believe that it's a typographical error in the auditor's office that, that somehow whenever those two positions, one here and one here, when they went full-time, when I presented that to the auditor's office and I said, this position and this position are going full-time, that it was a typographical error, is what I believe it was. I don't think that anybody's trying to do anything underhanded here. I don't think anybody's trying to say, well, this person should get this or this. I think it's a typographical error and the court can take action on what they want to do about it.
I agree, Judge.
After, you can't amend it. Or bring the other one down. We don't have to say that just because this one was an error in excess, that we have to say, well, since we excess error here, we have to excess fix it. You can bring them back down to what I believe they should be and you come to work for Karnes County at that base salary and you meet that requirement, that position meets that requirement that the salary survey that the salary committee put together 2 years ago. That's why we shouldn't have messed with COLA. Everything that going on right now is because start meddling, but it is what it is. It needs to be fixed and you can make that amendment. Be my position to amend it to bring them down to that. No, I think that they should come, whenever they're taking that position as a full-time employee, they come in at making that $40,000 or $45,000, whatever that position is budgeted for. That's the way it should be. That's my opinion on it. That's the way I would present it, but.
I agree with the Judge.
Judge, when I came back to work here in 13, there was a policy that you have to be here 1 year before you were eligible for those raises. And now that's changed over the last 10 years, that in place.
Yeah, that's not gonna apply to those two. They've been here long enough to meet any eligibility requirement. Correct. Well, it is right, but we're not gonna do that. So what we need to do is, on the October meeting, we need to do a budget amendment to address that. And I would bring the other one down to make them both equal. They're both coming into a full-time position. They were part-time, they meet the eligibility requirements from everything, and do it that way. That's the way it needs to be done. Your item, Commissioner.
Do we need to take an action on that? I mean, what you just said, I agree.
There's no action today.
Okay.
To do it that way. Any other questions, Bonnie?
No, I'm good if you all are.
Thank you, ma'am. No,
Thank you.
Judge.
Item number 20, consent agenda. We have reports from our district clerk, our constable precinct 1, our constable precinct 4, EMS, constable precinct 3, and JP 3, December 22 through August 23 from JP 3. We also have budget amendments, BA 2023-29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Those are the ones that Tom went over earlier.
Judge, I'll move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? No. Item number 21, discuss any items that are on the consent agenda that need to be considered and acted on. Anybody need to pull anything from the consent agenda? No. Let's have our updates from our commissioners, starting precinct 1.
Okay, on the emergency management side, this last 2 days, I attended the classes in Hondo. It was on hazard preparedness for animal and disasters, and then next day I had another class there. It was all hazards, planning of animal and agricultural food related disasters. And the course was very good. It was written by, this lady that taught the class wrote the book, so she had a lot of insight to it and shared a lot of experiences that she had within our nation. Also, I worked with Mr. Geister last week. I had a constituent that was, had a sign problem on County Road 116, and they rerouted it. They did some sign changes, and it's working well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Last week I attended the West Texas Judges and Commissioners Conference. And Friday night, State Representative Ryan Gillian did the coin toss at the Fall City Veterans Appreciation Game. And he went and bought him a beaver cap and put it on for you. He did it. It's a good game, too. We got County Road 228 is really taking a beating right now. And 230, they're building a big location. I don't know how many oil wells they're gonna drill on it, but I was out there yesterday and one of the belly trucks had dumped a big load of base right at the intersection of 230 and 228, and I contacted the Road and Bridge Department, and they cleaned that up. Had lots of calls about the burn ban. We had one with a constituent had some land in Wilson County and some in Karnes County. Wilson County gives an ag exemption. He wanted to know why Karnes County don't, but we don't.
There is no ag exemption.
There's no exemption. Wilson County's exemption, they have to fill out an application. And basically, anything that could be happened, they would be held personally liable for it. And so and nobody wants to do that, especially as dry as it is. And I guess that's about it, you know. Oh, a lot of signs, get a lot of calls about signs, the oil field traffic, knocking the reflectors down at culverts, knocking roadside down, knocking the Chevron signs down on the curves. And that's a full-time job, trying to keep them back up. But that's it. That's all I got.
Commissioner Precinct 3.
Judge, Commissioners, I took all the calls and met with the people that I had to meet with. I met with a couple of people in my office. I kind of explained to them, they wanted to know what a local agreement was between the county and the city, so I gave them an explanation of that. I also met with our engineer late one evening and discussed several county issues, and those issues were including some Precinct 3 county roads. I've also met with Commissioner Precinct 2 several times regarding random issues with the county in the last couple of weeks. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Precinct.
Commissioners, Judge, I was reached out to by a couple of constituents, one of them concerning the bridges on County Road 105 and 104 in the movement of a dozer. So I reached out to Road and Bridges and put them in contact with one another, and it does seem that was facilitated correctly, and so with success. Also, fielded some other calls from constituents about their concerns with other departments within the county and discussed that with them, and it seems like those were taken care of. That's really it at this point.
Okay, thank you. Item number 23, discussion / acknowledgement of personnel changes. All departments, do I have any money? Yeah. We do have a new hire in the sheriff's department, no resignations, no terminations, and no retirement. Okay, item number 24, payment of bills.
Okay, Court, the bills today are $732,628.87. The larger ticket items on the general fund, we're paying the final payment to appraisal district for this quarter, which is $45,000. Majority of road and bridge bills are for CTIF expenses. Road and Bridge Special Fund, they're paying their final payment for appraisal district as well for $9,300. Everything else is just pretty standard for the norm, close out the year. We will be having more expenses hitting this year's budget that we'll be paying next month, which they have till the end of October to turn in invoices, as long as the products received this month and services received.
Make the motion to pay the bills, to approve paying the bills.
Okay, you have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Nope. Item number 25, acknowledge the Commissioners Court will meet on October 10th, 2023 at 9 a.m. in the Karnes County Historic Courtroom right here at 101 North Pan Maria Avenue, Suite 200, Karnes City, Texas. Item number 26, motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.